following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1.
Hello everyone and welcome to our first All-Star 8 matchup, also regional final matchup for Emily Uno's Arcade April here in Division 1 for the 2026 season. We got our full schedule lined up here, and ironically we're going one by one in order of the region, so kicking us off here in this Mother's Day evening special here, it is going to be number 4 seed Andy taking on number 15 seed Ridley in the Joystick regional final. One of these players will make it to the final 4 and fill in that first spot of 4 that we will determine over the next 3 days, but we'll see who kicks this round off with the victory. I'm your host, G-Man. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. There's a lot of festivities today for a lot of people. I know a lot of people in the league especially did a lot of fun activities with their mothers, or in general just spent time with their family. So always love to see that, and glad that a lot of people were able to have a great Mother's Day today. I guess one example, Mac went to the Brewers game today where unfortunately, they won on a walk-off against the Yankees, which, we'll just move on from that one. But he had a great day with his mother, so that was an example of something. But we've also had a lot of other people spend time with their family today, or just kind of celebrate the day in general. But gonna be ending off the day with a bit of a Mother's Day special to kick off the All-Star 8 here. Andy and Ridley going at it. We'll see who ends up coming out on top and books their spot into the final 4. I believe this is also the 3rd round in a row that Ridley has the opening match, if I'm not mistaken. So, building up a bit of a streak there. Yes, it is the 3rd round in a row Ridley has the opening match. So, Ridley has found their way to being the opener for this tournament. So, won the last 2. We'll see if Ridley can make it 3 for 3 here. But let's get into the bracket. And we're at the phase where we have all of our matches in one image. Final 8, All-Star 8, Regional Finals round, whatever you want to call it, all are applicable here. But we are going to get things rolling with this round, starting with Andy and Ridley in the Joystick region. I mentioned we're kind of going in region order here. You'll see that where region 1's Joystick, and then 2, 3, 4 claw, ticket, token respectively. So Joystick kicks us off tonight with a Mother's Day special. Then tomorrow we got a double header. Myself versus Ard. That game will unfortunately not be streamed. That'll be a non-stream match, so make sure you check out the server to watch that match. That is because I'm going to be streaming the full slate for this round, and unfortunately I cannot stream my own game because then I would accidentally be revealing my hand, and that would not be good. So fortunately, no stream for that one there, but should hopefully be a good match. Make sure you check that one out. But then right after that, that Nick versus Brad, that will be streamed. That game will happen after the conclusion of myself, Ard, if that goes long. If not, it'll start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A battle between 2 former tournament winners. Nick winning Tournament 1 of last season, and then Brad winning Tournament 3 of 2024. So 2 former tournament winners, actually the entire right side. 3 of the 4 players on the right side have won a tournament before. We've never had someone repeat a tournament as a tournament winner in 2 different seasons. So I mean, there's a good possibility here that we maybe could find someone who ends up having a tournament win prior end up in that finale game, the final boss finale. So may need to keep an eye out for that one. I got a lot of people gunning for that. Ard looking to spoil the party on that one though. The only player who has not won a tournament on that right side, but also has not made a Final Four, but looking to make the Final Four for the first time in his career. Um, there's the right side, but then on the left side, which for the final match of the round, and also who the winner of this match will be playing. Lane Sanders versus William Brock. Both players making a bit of a resurgence here. I don't think either has made a finale since the or not a Final Four since the 2024 season, if I'm not mistaken. Lane's the only one I'm a little bit hesitant. Yeah, okay, I'm correct. Yeah, so both have not made a Final Four since the 2024 season. So one player looking to break that mini drought of theirs, make their second career Final Four. Um, Lane was tournament 3 of 2024, and then Brock was tournament 5 of 2024. So one of those two looking to break through and make it back to the Final Four for the first time. That should hopefully be a good match. That'll close out the round, and that'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. Um, and then we'll have our Final Four in finale. We also got D2 going on with Medieval Mayhem. Streams will start up for that one on Wednesday. So we'll have we have a triple header, I believe, actually on Wednesday for those streams. Likelihood is we'll have a day break in between the All-Star 8 and the Final Four, since I'm not going to be able to probably squeeze in a fourth or fifth stream on that day unless it's like super early in the morning. But yeah, it's a lot of Uno action coming up for you this week here. And we're starting it off with three straight stream games in D1. But going to the preview here, before we go to the table, veteran versus rookie in this one, 13-3 record for Andy this tournament, 13-7 for Ridley. So Andy has been getting away with less losses here, has a higher win percentage in the games. For career round of 8 record, 1-0 for Andy. This is only their second time make it to the All-Star 8 round, and they won it the last time, and that was in tournament 5 last season. They're looking for their second Final Four in 3 tournaments, which would be pretty impressive. Would be different seasons, but Andy been on a bit of a hot streak as of late, and for Ridley, first career appearance in the All-Star 8, but going back to D2, they are 1-1 in that round, so a 500 record, really looking for their second Final Four in their MRA career overall, but their first in D1. For the career accolades, Ridley has a bronze in D2, nothing up in D1, and then for Andy has that silver from the last tournament of last season, so both looking to add an accolade here, with a win today, and maybe get it done in the Final Four. But finally, for the CPU prediction, has Andy winning 5-3. We'll see if that comes true. There was actually a lot of 5-3s in the CPU predictions this round. So overall, look to be a close round. Close round in general. But we'll see how it goes. Last round had a split of matches being either close or not close at all, with very little in between. So hopefully get more of the close matches here, as those sweeps are usually not very fun from a spectator point of view, and especially for the losing player on that one. So hopefully get a good match here today. But let's go to the table now. I am going to be solo commentating this one, but we got Voiles here, going to be the ref. We have Andy in the call. I'm going to ask Andy a question for pregame, and they'll type it out, and then I'll write a question for Ridley. I probably should have done that before the stream started, but it is what it is. But yeah, so Andy, going to you. I mentioned before you're on a bit of a hot streak when it comes to regular season tournaments. You're looking for your second Final Four in 3 tournaments here, after prior to tournament 5 last season never even making Elite 8 in the first place. So you've kind of found a bit of a hot streak for yourself. Got had a decent showing in Super League, and now you're looking for your second Final Four of your career here. Uh, any thoughts as you go up against Ridley here, who ironically has become a bit of a tournament 2 merchant, as they made the Final Four in this tournament in D2 last season. So going to be a tough foe here despite the seed number. So just kind of your thoughts going into this one, and what a second Final Four in 3 tournaments would mean for you if you can get it done. All right, and as Andy is typing, I will take the question out for Ridley. There's a question for Ridley here. Ridley, you were told by Andy, but third straight opener for you here. Once again, for the second straight season, finding yourself deep into a tournament 2 bracket. What's the vibes from you heading into tonight as you look to make the Final Four on the 15 line and get your third straight round opener victory? So we'll see what Ridley has to say. Andy is still typing out their answer. And once we get a response from both, we'll get started. We did the card call for game 1 off stream, and Andy has decided that he will want to start with 11 for game 1, so we got that loaded in there. So once both give their thoughts on pregame, we'll be set to go here, as 11 will be the card start for game 1. But yeah, until then, we'll see what both have to say here. Andy has responded. I'm gonna quickly pull up my phone to get this set up, but yeah, for Andy, where is it? There it is. Glad to be finally getting my footing in MRE and build up a reputation for myself, and I think I would absolutely love another Final Four. I love the momentum I'm on right now, and continuing forward would be awesome. Won't count out Ridley, however, because I think at this point I shouldn't pay attention to the seed number, and I really hope for a good series today. Which is fair enough. I think everyone watching this is hoping for that as well. Do always love us a close competitive match. We'll see what Ridley has to say here. All right, for Ridley, their response, feeling good, gonna let the cards do the work for me, hopefully, and work my way to my Final Four for the first time in D1 career. Excited to play someone who has been here for a while and ready to get the series going. Good luck, Andy. All right, we will get things rolling here. 11 is the call for game 1. Royals will start it up, and with that all said and done, we will get things rolling as we are underway. Game 1 starts with a green +2 to kick things off, and we'll mention this also. We're in the 2 power play territory now, so still best of 9, but both players having 2 power plays. For Ridley, I believe this is the first time they've had a 2 power play game, as last season in D1, that only happened in the Final Four of Tournament 1. This season expanded a little bit to every finale, and then every finale also, but we'll see if how Ridley will adjust to it. Not usually too crazy of an adjustment. It kind of gives you an extra power play to work with. Sometimes people just kind of stack it on where it's another one extra to just kind of saving it to the end. But sometimes it gives people a little bit more flex room to go for something a bit earlier than people may expect. So I think you could also play some mind games with it as well, but we haven't seen that as frequently, especially this season. But gonna open up with green here. Andy closed the door on the +2, and Ridley's gonna follow with bringing it from the top 4 to the bottom with the green 0. But yeah, just gonna keep going on green for the moment. Ridley taking a second to think through this next play. All right, Ridley playing the green 3, which is usually their card, but due to the backup server currently running with the regular default cards for the moment here, hopefully that can get resolved soon enough. But again, ultimately, with the whole bot outage we had for a while, main thing is to make sure that the bot is functioning, and ultimately that's more of an aesthetic thing. So we'll try to come across to fix it when we can, but for now going to be the default cards. And I think kind of with the player logos being on those cards, most of the players do remember what their card specifically is, so they could just give that self shout out whenever they play it, even if it's not currently the on the MRE deck that we'd like to use. But anyways, this has been a long run on green. I think it's been 3 straight turns from both players on this green here. So both with a good amount, and really looking to make it 4 for both here. Andy just played their 4th consecutive green. It's been all numbers as well. Yeah, and there it is. So that's 4 greens in a row from both players. So a lot of green on this start for both. And Andy's just going to keep it going. Question is, how long does this go before someone has to draw, or if someone decides to switch, as it's now 5 in a row from both players here. And Andy has ran out on their sixth turn here, so Andy is out now, and Ridley is going to go for the switch. Ridley had that option to switch and will take the lead with that move here. All right, Andy freed up now, going to try to play the yellow, but Ridley's still running their plan A here. It's been all numbers so far. No one has played any ammo, so we'll see if this ends up being a full numbers hand or if someone just holds on to the ammo to the end. Ridley is taking a second to type, and there's your first ammo card. Going to be just a yellow skip, but really continuing their plan A run for the moment. And there's the second ammo card. We go back in the green. Andy looking for a stall. Will it work? It will. No play from Ridley. Ridley will have to draw, and it's going to be a KT Classic stall there on that one. Andy not liking where their hand is at the moment, looking to stall the game out a bit. And not going to be able to stall the game out for long. Ridley gets a top deck wild. That is not what Andy was hoping for there. But Andy has another wild. Oh my gosh. That'd be crazy if both of them just top decked wilds on their draws. That would be pretty absurd. I'll have to ask about that post game. But Andy gonna continue the stall here. We have now one wild left in the deck. Double play from Andy. Green skip, green 8. May have had the green skip before, but was looking for something to close. Draws are gonna keep on coming here for both. Ridley with the top deck, looking to get out of this green. Andy draws. Does Ridley get out of it? They will not, so draw C keeps on going on the green. Yeah, I mean, both players had a lot of green on the start here, but now that we've kind of played this game out a bit, it's just kind of like more barren at this point because they used it all up on that start with all their numbers, but ultimately now just gonna keep the draw city going, and whenever we get that switch out, probably gonna end up being a 3-color game from that point forward. All right, Andy pulls the switch off here, but Ridley crosses over into the blue. Says not so fast on the red. Both are at 8 cards now. A bit of a reset here. And Andy actually dittos that play, so that's the blue 7 also. We'll see what Ridley will think of that move as we go along to the rest of this game, but both just kind of playing the blue here. And again, just both kind of running the numbers here. I don't think anyone has gotten, I don't think either player has gotten an absurd hand. Especially with there not really being any +4s in the picture at the moment here. And Andy is looking to stall this again here. Goes back in the green on the reverse chain, and Ridley's does not have anything. And the draw city will keep on going in the green. Andy is playing some defense here. Ridley trying to do what they can to stop it. Top deck for both. Yeah, I mean, there's been a few people who have played defensively. Some people, I think, do it way too much, but I think when used right, it's definitely good when you're in a bit of a pinch. All right, well, Andy kind of papes back Ridley what Ridley did to them on the initial switch when we were originally out of draw city on the green. This time it's kind of inverse, where Andy wanted the red, Ridley made it blue, but then now Ridley wanted blue, Andy made it red. So now both running red, both running it down on the red. Andy with the slight lead here. What does Ridley do? I mean, Ridley did play that wild in the red earlier, but is not going to have any more left. And Ridley thought it was over, but no, Andy is out as well. So no one has gotten the Uno yet. We're nearing 8 minutes, and there's not been a single Uno call yet in this game. We'll mention there's still no +4s to be found as well. So maybe may have them buried somewhere deep in the deck, which I think could be a bit concerning for both players. If we keep on drawing and get further and further into that deck, because then it becomes a very scary territory where someone can draw like 2+4s in a row, and then they really hold all the cards there. But yeah, Draw City keeps on going here. This has been a bit of a methodical game one here. Andy has been playing some defense in this game so far, and I think it's been pretty effective in terms of trying to even things out, but is it effective in terms of getting the hands that Andy is trying to line up? We'll have to see. But yeah, Ridley still draws. Andy had the top deck there. Will Andy get the switch? You know, Andy has actually got some more reds here, so they had reds before, but chose the draw. And maybe there could be a chance that Andy has picked up something that he likes, so we'll have to see how this goes. Another draw from Andy, so gonna keep the draws going. Ridley with nothing at the moment. Ridley typing may have something to break out of this. Ooh, alright. 4-card run into blue. There's a +2 on the start of it, so we'll take the lead with that one. Andy gonna return the favor with a +2 of their own, but that one will give them the possession arrow lead. But otherwise, Ridley plays something here. We'll tie it, and there you go. 7 cards apiece now. Just about to hit 10 minutes in this opening game here. We get to switch the yellow. First time in a while we've seen that color. Now both looking to run it down once again. Ridley just with the number there, yellow 2. Double play from Andy. That'll give him a definitive lead. Ridley just gonna keep calm with the numbers for the moment. Another number from Andy. Down to 3. Getting close. And there's the first +4 of the series. Ridley was not feeling too comfortable with where they were at and decided to use that +4. And Andy has drawn no blue from Andy at the moment. Ridley gonna keep it running on the blue. Maybe looks to try to be in position to take game 1 here. And Ridley plays Andy's card, and that will allow Andy to switch into the red. And that's gonna block what Ridley was hoping for there. Now both are drawing. Andy has been really playing this ice out game for a good chunk of this opener so far. Ridley with the red 5. Really looking for that switch. Ridley saying it's a very interesting, one of the most interesting games of Uno that they've ever played. And I mean, this is we still got a lot of Uno left to be played. This is only game 1. Ridley with the red 8. Top deck red 6 from Andy. Ridley is going to be on the aggressive to try to find that switch. But will not get it there. And Andy will give it, though. Goes into yellow. That will free up Ridley, but with how much, though? I mean, they've been drawing for a little bit here. That hand could be a bit all scrambled. Alright, throws a +2 down. Gotta throw some more cards Ridley's way. And brings that gap a little closer. Ridley gonna be able to keep playing the yellow, though. 30 cards left in the deck at the moment here. We got a big run coming from Andy. Do they have the finish? They don't, but it's a 5-card run, and they're down to 2 cards. There's a +2 in the middle of that, so Ridley's up to 6. And Ridley with another +4. Again, not liking the situation, has that +4 that they were able to pick up and resets it. Alright, now what does Andy do here? I mean, the +4s are starting to come out here. We're at the bottom of the deck, and I feel like that's kind of where they've been lurking. +2 from Andy to flip the scoreboard. And Ridley will say, not so fast, I'll just take the lead myself with a 3-card switch in the blue. Now both are at 3 cards. And that did not go the way Ridley was hoping. Gonna have to draw there. Was hoping to find a way to switch out of that. Blue 5 from Andy. Andy down to 2. Ridley drawing again. Andy at Uno. First Uno call of the game about 14.5 minutes in. And no finish. Andy with a top deck there. And yeah, there it is. I think Andy was hoping for that though, because I don't think they had the finish there. That or they just straight up forgot, which been a long game. But I think they wanted some extra cards to work with there. So I think they're okay with that. They're already down to 2 with the double play there. Yeah, now for really kind of a tough spot for really to be in because they don't really have much blue, but I mean color switch is definitely going to be risky with how low Andy's at. Well, it won't be that risky if you have a +6 to go along with it, and we'll quickly minimize that one. Throws Andy up to 8, and this game keeps on going. Crossover, technically a crossover in the green now, which caused 2 pretty long draw cities in this game, but both with some cards to play in it. And Andy Light switches back into the red. May have been a 1-card stop for Andy on that green. Double play from Ridley. Tried to call out, but Ridley was not at Uno. No wild blue. Okay, so that's the last wild. Last wild's off the board. Ridley doesn't have anything. We'll see if Andy has anything. They did get handed +6, so they could have a few extra blues, and they will. Draws keep on coming out here, and Andy's only with 1 blue there, so Straw City keeps on going. This has been a very long opener here. So it's actually been some pretty good gameplay, all things considered, because neither player really started off with a dominant hand, and it's just kind of been a back and forth defense from both. And yeah, that is the last card drawn. I did not get the history on that one there, but yeah, I mean, we could look at the stats to kind of base it off that. So, all right, so I mean, it's gonna be interesting here because there's still a few ammo cards left over from prior that prior deck shuffle, so someone has something. I don't. I'm not sure if that's the first time in Ridley's MRE career. I think it may have happened once in D2, but I can't remember. Yeah, this has been a very long game one. To kick things off. Nick, watching from the sidelines. Also, his match will be tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Yeah, 18 minutes in, we get a reshuffle. Right, blue 9. There's another +4. I think Ridley's had all three so far. We go to green now. And two of the +4s are back in the deck here, but we'll see. We'll see where they land because that's not a whole lot though. That's only half of them that are in this new deck. It's not as reliable to try to search for one. Triple play from Ridley, and it seems like Ridley has found a good amount of cards to help them out here. Draw from Andy. Does Ridley have that last +4? Based off the fact Andy drew it, I think they will, yeah. And that's going to end at exactly 20 minutes. So 20-minute game one on that one. And really going to win it with the two +4s at the end there. Had all four +4s on that one. That was a good game one, but ultimately the +4 advantage going to help tide Ridley over there. I gotta ask from this more towards the start because there was a play that happened I thought was a bit interesting. Towards the start of that game, Ridley went down the two cards, and then Andy, you played a wild, and then you both drew, and then Ridley played a wild, and then you played a wild. Did you end up top decking that? I don't know if you. It was. First one in the starting hand. So yeah, Andy had one in the starting hand, and then Ridley had a top deck in the then top deck last two right before reshuffled. Oh, I guess the +4s. Okay, so both players top deck the wild in back-to-back turns. That's pretty funny. Um, strong against like, uh, yeah, a lot of green. Had the two reds and then some yellow. Had some decent connections there, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a hand you're kind of walking up on precarious water for on that one, but or precarious ground. But I guess Andy, just kind of your just how are you feeling after game one? I think you were playing a lot of great defense there, but ultimately I think the +4 differential just got a little bit too much for you towards the end there, and ultimately just kind of ran out of options after putting up some pretty good defensive plays early on in that one. Still confident, played good, I think. Fair enough. Don't think I played a game where the opponent was willing to draw like that with multiple wilds. I respect play so much. Thought it was so interesting. Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean Andy trying to do what they can to kind of stall things out, try to find the cards that they needed to get in their hand there, and ultimately ends up being a good game that saw both players kind of get out front and maybe have a chance to win that one early at points, but ultimately Ridley gonna end it with the insurance victory on the +4. But yeah, with that, we still got plenty of more games to go here. That was only game one. We'll go to game two here. Andy has the call. We'll see what they decide to do here as Andy looks to try and make it 1-1. I'm guessing Andy's gonna go for 10 here. Uh, well, unfortunately, 11. Well, unfortunately, well, actually, no. Never mind. All right, gonna go 10 here for game two. And we're gonna start with green again, but not gonna be the +2 this time. Gonna be a green 3 this time. So we'll see how things go here. Thanksgiving plus lead up to Christmas hit different. Yeah, I think Thanksgiving very much depends on what a person's family dynamic is, but I think Christmas 90% of the time, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever, someone may celebrate. I think usually that duo can be a big boom for a big booming time for a lot of people uh as you kind of get to the end of the year. But we don't stay on green as long to start. Andy actually tried to switch the yellow off the start, but really denied it with a crossover of the red. Now we're just running red. I mean, both players kind of rolling with the card with the numbers here once again to start the game. Both discussing the weather as we go along. And Ridley pulls out a somewhat early wild here. And again, we're having another early wild war here as Andy's going to say no, we're going back in the red, which may not be good for Ridley, and it will not be really going to have to draw. And Andy is going to keep playing this time. Not going to be a stall for this one, but we'll keep playing the red. And now they'll give the blue here. Andy built up a little bit of a lead with that play there. We'll see what Ridley has. +2 to bring it back a little bit. Andy's still with the lead, but Ridley bringing it a little closer. Andy's just gonna keep going with the blues, though. Not too frazzled. And another +2 from Ridley on blue. Had both of them. And now Ridley with the lead. And now Andy is out on blue. Can Ridley keep it going? Yes, with a switch in the green. Ridley trying to win this one in not as long of a game here, but Andy with the double play to try to bring things back a little bit. And Ridley maybe looking to line something up here. Yes, all right. Had the +4 there and just ran on green there to end it. 321, 322 on that one. Not sure what the log is gonna say, but it was one of those two. As it'll be game 2 for Ridley in not as long of a time. But again, that +4 coming clutch to win that one. As gonna be 2-0 for Ridley now, and they'll get the homestand now. Just use the board there. Yeah, that ends up being 322. So. All right. Quick question for Ridley here before we go into game 3. Thought about this in game 1 at one point. I had red skip, green skip, yellow skip on yellow, but I think Ridley played the +4, so interesting. Had a trifecta of skips there, but then got +4, so maybe could have been at a finish had it not been for a +4 in game 1, but yeah, for Ridley, gonna be up 2-0 here. Gonna be definitely trying to use that +4 advantage to their advantage, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll go to game 3 once we get a quick comment from Ridley here. But yeah, and yeah, the game 2 definitely gonna tank the average time on that one there. Just a tiny bit quicker of a game. No, I think I just drew a blue number and a green number, so it just made it a little bit harder to get to the finish. Class blue +2 didn't give him anything to drop me, but that's why I based them out, which is fair enough. All right, well, game 3, it's gonna be Ridley's call now, looking to make it 3-0, but Andy looking to try and make this a away series, which we've seen plenty of times before. But 15 card full send for game number 3. And we'll get things going here. 9, red 9 to kick this one off, so we're off from the green starts for now. That is correct. Ridley in the last series actually went to 15 3 different times and went 0-3 and very nearly lost the series, but managed to hang on with a non-15 card start. But yeah, red 9. So actually gonna ditto the bot off the start, but that's gonna allow Andy to switch to yellow. And we'll keep going. Yellow 3 from Ridley. And now we'll just kind of keep rolling with yellow. I think for Andy's been playing pretty good so far, but just needs something to go their way here as they do not want to go down 3-0, and maybe this full send could be the way to go, because Ridley has not had a lot of success recently on this full send, so I mean they're committed to their ways, but something has not clicked as of late with the full send for Ridley, so we'll see how this one fares this time. Hoping to not make it 4 full sends in a row lost, but 3 card run from Andy going into green. That will give Andy the lead. First ammo cards used in this game, and it's 2 reverses. It really says not so fast. We're going back into yellow. Looking to try to force Andy to draw early. And Andy will have the wild to bring it back into green. Does Ridley roll with green, or do they try to find another way to get out of it? They will roll with green for now. So Andy will get what the color they were hoping for the time being. But yeah, now let's see what Ridley has here, because still could have something up their sleeve, but maybe just kind of waiting on it. Gonna be just a double play for now. Andy with a 1.5 card lead, and expands on it a bit more with another 3 card switch, this time in the blue. Andy running the plan A as we speak. Alright. Really gonna stop Andy in their tracks a little bit with a +2. Gonna tie things up at 5 apiece. Excuse me. Andy gonna keep going with the blue soul Ridley. Both are tied here. Andy with the position arrow lead. And now switches the red. I don't think either player has drawn so far in this game, so both are technically running plan A's with no self-draws. And Andy just running down the numbers here, really looking to try to get this game win. What does Ridley have, though? We've seen the +4s kind of come in so far for their wins at the last moment to kind of give them the nudge ahead. And it's going to happen again, but not for the finish. It's going to be just Uno. May have been playing that a turn earlier than they were wanting to, but Andy with no play, though. Does Ridley have it? No finish from Ridley. So ultimately that +4 is more defensive and more of a hope and a prayer that Andy would make a move that would help them play that last card. Top deck from Ridley at Uno once again. They did mention they would have power played if they had the finish here. And maybe they'll carry over true for this one as they're going to draw again. But I mean, for Ridley, if they could keep getting these top decks, yeah, I mean, there's another one, blue 7. For Ridley being able to get these top decks consistently, that's going to allow them to kind of stay in that range where they could benefit off a big top deck. Draw from Andy, and Ridley will not get the Uno draw this time, but Andy will have a blue 3. Ridley gets the top deck blue a turn later than they were hoping, blue 9. No switch from Ridley, though. Another draw here. Ridley still kind of staying low. And Andy going to go for the switch in the green. Does Ridley have a play? Taking a second here. We got Joao popping in. Oh, wow. That is going to be a fatal switch there. And one that I don't think a lot of people saw coming on that one. Wow. Unfortunate one there from Andy. I don't know if you really could have expected that one. But yeah, it seems like for Ridley was just kind of getting the draws needed to kind of slowly build up their run there, and moment that Andy went for that switch there, Ridley striked. So unfortunate break for Ridley on that, or no, unfortunate break for Andy on that one, but Ridley will get it done, and now it's 3-0 here. Not the start Andy was hoping for, despite playing well so far. It just kind of has not gotten the breaks they've been needing. But Ridley gets their full send win after going 0-3 in the last round. And yeah, that green +2 came just in time for Ridley, because they drew the green +2 in on the prior turn. So if not, they would have had to keep drawing. So yeah, I mean, the timing has just been working out for Ridley so far. Yeah, I had to finish at that one spot I would have power played, had to run with +2s, but used blue +2 when you got low. Yeah, for Andy, just kind of saying how Uno goes, hoping to find a turnaround here. We've seen turnarounds before with these early deficits, but definitely going to make this game 4 very important for Andy to win because 4-0 comeback is going to be very difficult to make. Not impossible, we've seen it before, but not the position you want to necessarily put yourself in. As for Ridley, they are looking back at the bracket, Ridley technically last rookie standing. If they win this one, they will make it 2 tournaments in a row where we have at least one rookie in the final four, continuing a generally good start for the rookie class on an overall scale. It's been one or two that have been struggling a bit. Some a little bit more surprising than others, but overall it's been a strong class and definitely it's shown that anyone, even if they're off to a slow start, can pop off here. Because Ridley lost their debut game in tournament one, so they've really been able to turn around this tournament. So we'll see what Ridley has to say, and then we'll go over the game 4 call where they cannot pick 15 again. Up 3-0 with both power plays available is the best way to start the first 3 games of the series. Just need to capitalize on the rest of the games to get a W. Never stop full sending regardless of the result. Love the high card starts because of how much you can do with them. Plan A can be a variety of different plans. Well, unfortunately, Ridley cannot full send in this game because they just won on it. So they will go for the next best option and go with 14. All right, and we are back to the green starts here. Green 2 to kick off game 4. This is definitely going to feel like a game that Andy feels they gotta win. Um, but we'll see how it goes. Really starts this off. All right, gonna go 1-up with the green 3. Kick things off, and that is gonna be their card that they play on their first turn. Andy gonna use it to switch into I think their card actually. So both players playing their own card on the first turn. And I'm gonna just really just gonna keep climbing up the number ladder here. Put one from 2 to 3, cross over the blue, and then one from 3 to 4. But Andy just gonna double it, and then really gonna ditto it, and back down to the 4. So kind of keeping it pretty concise at the moment. Yeah, that would be a ditto. That would be a ditto sandwich. And it's really gonna break it up with a blue 9, which will allow Andy to switch. All right, both at 10 at the moment here, both running plan A so far. And gonna be a red 2 from Ridley now. And there's the first animal card of the game. Ridley, not Ridley, Andy gonna dish out 2 cards for Ridley here. We'll take the definitive lead on this one. What does Ridley do here? Ridley will switch to the blue. Goes back into the blue. And Andy with another wild here. That's the second game in a row. They have a somewhat early wild played. Going back into red. Does not seem like Andy wants that blue at the moment. Really taking a minute to think this one through, what their next move will be. could have some options here, but whether they want to use it or not will be what the decision may ultimately be, as really going to go with the red 5, going to allow the red to roll for now. Red 4 from Andy. And triple play from Ridley, and that will bring things back to even. Andy's still with the possession arrow lead, though. So we go in the green. And double play from Andy will make it no longer a tied game. And there's the wild from Ridley, so maybe that was what they were maybe considering from before. Ridley feels like Andy has this one in the bag. Andy is typing. And it's going to be a double play there from Andy. Down to 2. Ridley with 5 cards. Double 2 from Ridley. And no play left from Andy. Does not get the Uno nor have the finish, and now Ridley is going to run it down. Andy trying to find something, trying to top deck here, but it is not coming to him. And now the scoreboard has been flipped from before, but now Ridley is out on yellow. Now both of them are drawing in Draw City. No yellows to be found for either player. I stand corrected. Top deck yellow 6 from Ridley. Andy taking a second to type. Does Andy have to switch? Yes, Andy has to switch into red. However, Ridley holding on to the lead as we speak. Oh no, another fatal switch. Oh man, second game in a row. Brutal. And yeah, now Ridley won away here. Didn't even have used the power play in that one, so it has 2 power plays going into game 5. Not what Andy wanted there at all. But unfortunately, again, it's going to be another fatal switch that ends up costly, and another one off the draws there. As I mean, it seems like Ridley was kind of able to slowly build that one up, but not quite sure. Yeah, brutal one for yeah. Kind of been an unfortunate series here. We're kind of seeing a little bit more of what we saw on the other side of the scale from before in the prior round. And he still has time to maybe make the reverse sweep, but it's going to be a very tall order. Red and blue skipped the whole game. Okay, so the blue reverse kind of came in there to just kind of add to it. All right. Yeah, unfortunate one for Andy there. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to make this comeback, but I mean, again, we've seen crazier things. This still could happen. Series ain't over till it's over, but Andy will have to call for game 5, so maybe could use this to their advantage here. But yeah, definitely gonna want to start with a win, and Andy is gonna try to go for the inverse here, what we've seen so far with the no send. I mean, I think it's a risk, but I think it's a risk Andy has to take here. Needs something to shuffle things up. But blue for the start. Can't power play on the first turn, so if someone has like a 2-turn finish, not gonna be able to do that. All right, both with blue off the start. Another blue from Andy. This is gonna be the tough thing for Andy because Ridley has 2 power plays to work with and just needs 1 game win. All right, I think they're gonna use the first power play here. I don't think this is a finish though. I think this might be a switch. Yes, it is. So really gonna use the first power play to try to get that switch assured. I can't back to back. Andy with nothing, but Ridley with nothing also. So maybe just trying to put themselves in a position where they could stay low and maybe benefit off a top deck, which they've been able to do in as portions of this series so far. And Ridley kind of having buyer's remorse on that play. So may have wasted one of their power plays there, which isn't necessarily what they were wanting there, but they still have another one. All right, Ridley gets the top deck red 6. And he's still drawing. Does Ridley get out of it? No. All right, both drawing on red still. Kind of looking at the yellow and green at the moment. Haven't seen either of those. Another JID mentioned from Andy. Ridley with another top deck on the red 3 here, but they've kind of been separated so far, but it's kind of allowing Ridley to slowly build up a small gap. Andy with the red 8. Do we get the switch here? Yes, we get the switch, and it goes back into blue. Double play there. That's going to tie it up at 8 apiece. Now we roll with blue here. Still no yellow or green. I feel like we take a trip to both those colors at some point. But we'll see. A lot of blue being played right now. And there's the switch to the green. First time we've seen green this game so far. And it's really going to agree with that move. Both going to go with green. Ditto play on that one. Andy with the green 0. And now Ridley with the green 5. Does either player have yellow here is going to be the question. Andy's going to go back into red. Ridley draws. Does Andy have some more red? No, Andy is just going to ice it out again. Again, I think we saw this in game 1. I just think Andy just not really having the hand right now. I think this is really the best option Andy has here. To try and find something. Has not really been able to find the draws so far in this series, but just kind of hoping and waiting that something can pop in their hand. But for now, just kind of holding off Ridley from getting to the end, but still getting some top deck reds as they just got the top deck red 7. Couldn't play off it though, and they're gonna still draw. All right, draw seed keeps on going on the reds here, so we're back to where we were before. Red 5 from Andy gets the top deck there. See if Ridley gets the switch here. Kind of been looking for that switch for a bit. They're at 8 cards, so decent amount. And they're going to find the switch on a 3-card switch into green, so we're back in the green. Now, what does Andy do? Andy is going to power play here on, I think, 10 cards. Going to go defensive here. also will force Ridley to draw an extra card. And does not even get their blue, gonna get switched into yellow for the first time this series. So both have used one power play so far in this game. And Ridley gonna use their second power play here, and maybe the one to end it. +2, run on the yellow, and then what will Ridley do here? +4 to end it on that one. That will do it. Unfortunately, 7-0 on the +4s there. All 4 of them came in the first game. But yeah, Ridley gonna win it in a sweep. So Andy kind of has the script flipped on them from the last round, but Ridley gonna go on to the final four. Gets the win there, and all the last 3 games also kind of with a similar time range, all things considered. But yeah, unfortunate for Andy there. Just did not really have much throughout that series. Couldn't really piece much together there at the end. Did have the wilds, but just really could not get much going with that. But yeah, unfortunately for Andy, run comes to an end here, but it's still a good run nonetheless. You did get the win over Mark. It's gonna be a big win. That'll kind of help you down the line, but just kind of I'm gonna ask more about your thoughts on the run here because I don't think there's a whole lot to say. I think uh it was a well played effort there, but unfortunately just was not your night. So just kind of your thoughts on your run overall. Proud of the run. Just wish I got at least one more game, but whatever. Lopsided wins the series, so I mean can't be really too mad. Which yeah, fair enough. Unfortunate way for that one to go, but that's how it is sometimes, sadly. But for Ridley, back-to-back seasons, you're in the Tournament 2 Final Four, this time in D1. You're the first puncher spot, and do it in the sweep. Any comments on how the series was from your eyes, and what's your outlook moving forward going into your Final Four match against the winner of Lane and Brock? Swept G on the round 32. Yeah, that is true. 2 sweeps for Andy in a row, so unfortunately the third one kind of blows up on their face, unfortunately, but nonetheless, I mean, still a good run still a good run from Andy, just not the way they wanted to end it. I also just realized the records were not showing for some reason on the scoreboard. I'm not sure why that is. Someone has been toggling around with the someone has been doing something. Oh wait, no, the records were showing. I thought they were in a different spot. Never mind. Um, I'm tripping. My mistake. But yeah, we'll see how this goes here for the remainder of this one. But before going this season, I've been part of 0 sweeps by Amber Career. Now I'm part of 4. So yeah, it's been feast or famine for Andy so far this season. And unfortunately, tonight was a night of famine. And we'll see what Ridley has to say, and then we'll wrap this stream up here. We go off the air. yeah, we'll see what Ridley has to say for final thoughts, and then we'll wrap this one up. Again, kind of going to the bracket here. Really moving on into the final four as the 15 seed. I need to check what number that is in terms of history, in terms of the 15 line, because it hasn't happened too many times, but I know this is not the first. Mac won on the 15 line last season, so did some history there. Yeah, this is the third time that the 15 line has made the final four, and ironically, all three of those have been in D1. Not a single one has happened in D2. So, 3 15 lines have been in the final four. Maybe a good news for Ridley here. Both of the 15 seeds who made the final four prior, J-Duck went on to win their final four matchup. I do recall who it was. It was ironically happened back to back last season. It was Gone in tournament 2 and then Mac in tournament 3. So both of them won their final four match. So maybe a good sign for Ridley to make the finale. But we will have to see how that goes. But going back to the stream, we got some comments from Ridley here. Series went well for me, obviously, considering the +4s, but I thought Andy put up a good fight as he could with the cards provided to him. It may have been a sweep, but he gave me a fun series, especially with that game 1. He'll be back in the spot again soon based on the way he plays. He knows what he's doing. As for my next opponent, I don't really care who it is. Just so honored to be in the final four here in D1 for just my second tournament. Feels good. And that will do it for the quotes. Also, yeah. Well, let's just kind of make sure to get that one when you can, but yeah, that will do it for the stream. Thank you for tuning in for this Mother's Day evening special edition of Emery Uno. Congrats to Ridley on the win. Not quite the series we were hoping for here, but again, it's Uno, it happens. We'll be back tomorrow with 2 matches, one on stream, one non-stream. Starting off with the non-stream match, myself versus Sean Art in the Claw regional final at 7:15 Eastern Standard Time, and then right after that at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's gonna be Nick and Brad in the ticket regional final on stream. So we will have 2 of our final 4 set when we come back on the channel tomorrow, but we know one of them, Ridley. We'll see who the other one ends up being before we go into that third one. But again, we'll find out the winner we'll find out who Ridley faced in the final 4 on Tuesday with Lane and Brock going at it in the token regional final. All right, that'll do it for us. Thank you all so much for watching this stream. On behalf of myself, the Emerino team, including our refs, our ref royals, all of the people who've been helping us throughout the season, our players, and everyone came out to watch. Thank you very much for watching this stream. Congrats to Ridley on the victory. We will see you tomorrow for the ticket regional final on stream and the claw regional final off stream. But until then, I'm G-Man. Peace out, everyone, and again, if you're still celebrating, hope everyone has a happy Mother's Day, and hope everyone had a great day today with that. But other than that, until then, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.